music review for you. This is the 1981 release from John Martyn called Glorious Fool. Now this release really came following the breakup of his marriage, and a lot of the songs are about that breakup and about the emotional pain. He also brought in Phil Collins to produce the album, and Phil also was heavily involved in the music on the album, playing drums, a Vodafone, and also piano and singing share of the vocals as well. So very integral part. Another name that caught my eye on the credits was Max Middleton. Max Middleton, a keyboard player, a very jazz-influenced keyboard player who's was a part of the Jeff Beck band in the sort of late 70s and appeared on Blow by Blow. He's quite prevalent as well in this collection of songs, and I want to go through it briefly then. We start off with Couldn't Love You No More. It's an amalgam of John's snoozy type vocals and that picking lead guitar style that's very much symbolic of him. And he also gets a little bit of help on guitar from one Eric Clapton, who'd previously done a Martyn song on one of his albums and was returning the compliment, I guess. It's about the breakup of the marriage. It's got a very nice tone to it. The harmonies are back in the mix, but they complement the solo beautifully, and it's almost as if you could relax with a pina colada while you're listening to it. And I really enjoy it. It's a great opener. On to track 2 is the song Amsterdam. This has been described as muscular, and I think it's a very good adjective. It's a powerful sort of funk rock where Collins comes to the fore. It's a bit of a nod to grunge as well. The song is about a close friend's funeral in Amsterdam, and the friend has also been heavily involved in the sordid side of Amsterdam, had a relationship with a prostitute. Track 3 then, Hold On To My Heart. Well, the title suggests it all, really. It's a very slower melody type song, very characteristic of Martyn's style. It's got a Caribbean feel to it, I feel, and there's an exquisite flugelhorn break midway. It's definitely silky rhythm stuff, Latino style. Track 4's Perfect Hustler, and again this has a sort of a strong shuffling percussion to it. Collins is awesome on this album. We all know him to be a great drummer, but he really does pull it all off here. Able support to Martyn's guitar and vocals. Very African, this song, and the vocals sound a little bit like Dave Matthews, I thought, and the music isn't a long way from that either. It's another song of lost love, and it segues into track 5, Hearts and Keys. Well, this slows everything down, and John's moaning vocal style stamps itself all over this blues ballad of sorts. But that doesn't probably tell the whole story. It's another nod to the marriage breakup, which is tearing through John's heart. Track 6 is the title track, Glorious Fool, and it's percussion again highlighting, sets off the riff, and it's got a particularly amusing tale. It's a satirical look at President Ronald Reagan and all that he represented, or didn't, as the case may be. There's some delicate vocals on it anyway. Up next is Never Say Never. Collins on the drums is integral to the percussion-driven sound here, which is again muscular. A very good adjective, I think. A muscular mix of drums and guitars. Okay, next up is Pascano, Get Back Home, and this is continues the two style or alternative style. This is a punchy driven number, again about relationships, and it follows the previous liquid light ballad style. Next up then is track 9, Didn't Do That. Jazz style here, I felt, fast paced with Middleton shining on keys. An excellent trumpet break midway as well. I think it's the best track on the album personally, and the outro is very Santana-like with Latin style percussion and speedy piano riffs. The place to Fall in Love with Me is next up. A love song, of course, a plea for forgiveness, a tender mix of the keyboards here, and Collins again stamping his authority on the rhythm, and it's a real punchy, soundy rhythm, this one, with again that nod to African chanting gospel harmonies. And then we get to Don't You Go, the final piece of music here. Is piano led with John's vocals. It's a song that's very sort of anti-war in its haunting presentation. It lyrically focuses on strong statements such as patriotism's a lie, and it's better represented by misery, and it's probably a knock to previous wars, but at that particular time, of course, we were experiencing the Iraq-Iran war. Martyn, from time to time throughout his career, always not slow in coming forward and pointing out his political views on things. So that's it in a nutshell. Now, I don't think it's John's best, but there's quite a lot to get your teeth into, to be fair. Collins' contribution is 5-star, and the thing is about Martyn's albums are there's always something in them that makes you stand up and listen. There's a sort of quality that glides through them all, and this one is no exception. So the 1981 album then, Glorious Fool.